Right, we've got council controlled organisations, final statements of intent. We've got Ali Adams and Laura Dawson for Christchurch NZ here, and Caroline Harvey's here. Someone else to answer questions. So there's no presentations today. Did you want to say anything first?
So I just wanted to note that these are the final statements of intent for all of the CCOs other than CCHL. I just wanted to mention that as a reminder, SOIs are about the strategic intent of the board to achieve, to reach its outcomes over a 3-year period. And to note that comments that council made on draft SOIs have been addressed. Take questions, if any.
Great. So what I thought we would do, it makes sense if you've got questions about a particular organisation, we'd just go through in order to bunch them together. So has anyone got any questions for Christchurch NZ's SOI? Oop, great. Okay. Any questions on VEO? Councillor McClellan.
The letter of expectation makes I think the wording is seek to consider accredited living wage employer, but the statement of intent is silent on the living wage. Is there any way we could tee that in or include that? I mean, you're already a living wage employer, is my understanding.
So accreditation for us would require us to also require all of our suppliers and our contractors to also be living wage. When we're procuring 80% locally, it is going to put quite a lot of pressure on some of those smaller suppliers. So it's just something we are working through the consideration of becoming accredited, but we don't want to then be devoid of our commitment to supporting local as well. So we're just working through that. That's why we haven't committed to being an accredited living wage employer.
So the academy that you've spoken to us about, the intention is that those people will also be on a living wage as a minimum standard across this organisation.
So again, not something we are able to talk about openly just yet, but our intention with the academy is to give opportunity to those that otherwise wouldn't get it. And so we would start them on less than the living wage, but over 12 months as they go through training, development, and a certain number of hours in the business, they would become wage from the 12-month point.
12 months is a long time. Are we able to get any advice on what that would do to our accreditation as a living wage employer if we have a significant number of people for a significant period of time on a rate less than that?
You reach a time frame.
Yeah.
Is it a significant number of
Potentially, yeah.
We have to, we then go back and see exactly what criteria are accredited.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, my colleague has just pointed out, the academy, do we know about that?
So in this first intake, so obviously we've just created it. We got 1,000 applicants. In the first intake, we're employing 80. Obviously, we're going to phase that over the next little while. And I think of that, there might be 15 who are in the academy.
Right.
And so that is the entire academy at the moment, 600 or so casuals that we have. That will build to about 1,000 by the end of the year in terms of totality. So you could estimate we might have 50 or 80 in the academy.
Right. Okay, but over time, still be in place.
Oh, look, it's really important that we don't get out of kilter, right? So we've got to make sure that we have the right skills in the business. So the academy is providing development opportunities, but we still have to have the right number of skilled employees to deliver a quality guest experience and make sure that that experience is safe.
Councillor Henstock.
Thank you. I'm just following on from Councillor McClellan's question. It's anticipated that people will come through the academy and out the other side. They don't stay in there.
Yes, in 12 months.
So when you're talking about the 1,000, is that the people that are coming through and out the other side? But at any given time, how many people are going to be in the academy?
It's hard to know. It depends because obviously at the moment of the 600 people also we employ, there are 12 in the academy. So in 12 months' time, if we don't grow the academy, 1,000 people that are not, but let's just say if we could assume maybe 10% of our workforce at any time could be on that, get back as your workforce. But as I say, we're still in those discussions because we do have a collective agreement that we're in the middle of that.
Councillor Keogh.
Yeah, so just on the academy model and giving people the opportunity to come and work in hospitality, if the council employs a hard and fast living wage role and puts it on you guys, does that mean less people get the opportunity?
Yes. It means that we'd be bringing in.
Because there's numbers game.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What it also means that we can do is with the living wage having increased so significantly over quite a short period of time, it doesn't allow us enough flexibility to recognise those that are in more supervisory roles because it's squeezing the upper level so much. So we've only got a certain cost.
So if we have a hard and fast rule, everyone has to be living wage. You then need to only employ experienced people, not give opportunities to people otherwise no one else is giving opportunities to upskill and get more employment. Cool.
Councillor Templeton.
Thanks so much for that. What you guys do, especially in that local procurement space and those kind of things, running events is phenomenal. Just some questions on Te Kaha. So it's page 16, but 149 of our agenda. Because there's been some stuff in the media recently about your ability to cover sort of bid funding without subsidy, those kind of things, which is fantastic, sort of in that longer term. But my understanding is that sort of for the first couple of years when you haven't had a lot of revenue, there's already been some of that covered by the events fund that we have, the partnership fund.
No, so they're in terms of
for the first, so for some of those initial events.
no, so bid incentive, there's been nothing transacted for attracting any events to One New Zealand Stadium at Te Kaha. Those transactions happen in real time. So anything for say 2026 would be transacted in real time. So all of the pre-opening expenses have been associated with the likes of developing systems, business development, some resource, legal fees, all of those things that you have to invest in without any revenue coming in. And we've been doing that now for 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. And there's conversations happening and sort of talks in here about the financial model, assuming council retains ownership, those kind of things. Are you looking and doing the background work and with council staff on what would it look like if the ownership was different? So for example, if you owned Te Kaha?
That's work that obviously council are working through as the asset owner. So we're supporting that process as much as we can, but yeah, that work's underway.
But you'd be needed to look at what that would look like for you as a company. Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, and any other questions on the remaining items? We have mover.
Sorry, Mel, can you hear me?
Yes, have you got a question?
If that's all right.
Yeah, sorry.
It's just around the Riccarton Bush Trust.
Oh, yep, go. Yeah.
I'm wondering what funding or how we fund the trust, and if there are any other opportunities to help with their stage 2 of their capital, because at the moment I'm noticing particularly that there's quite a lot of difficulties with operational expenses, etc. When council is seen to only fund 28,000, and I could be wrong. I'm just keen to see where we are coming in at.
So I'm not sure if you're asking about operational or just capital. So in terms of the
Sorry, both.
Yeah, so the council contributes to both, and they then rely on their own activities. Their share of the local cafe that's there, the grants. That's probably about all. Grants and donations. That makes up the rest of their budget. I'm not aware that they are having any difficulty with meeting their operational costs. On the capital side of things, the project that they have for the enhancement of the bush has been split into two, and they're currently working through the first part of the project. And they've got sufficient capital for that. They've done a big fundraising exercise, and the council has provided some portion of the funding as well.
Yeah, okay, because I'm noticing in page 257, their revenue is on a slight downturn, and then the CCC levy is coming down too. And I'm just wanting to see if that's a red flag for yourself, Linda, or are we trying to get them to be self-sustainable?
To be self-sustainable. The revenue that you can see in there has no there's kind of grants in it. They always do are successful at attracting third-party grants, but they can't obviously predict that, so that's not included in that revenue line.
Okay, and last question is, have they voiced to council or yourself around further support for anything else around either regulatory impacts or ways that we can help enhance the bush without giving financial support? Is there anything that they've raised in terms of how we could actually help raise their commercial value of the bush?
My knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Johansson.
Any advice from Central Plains Water that they are collecting and storing all data continuously in accordance with their consent?
Sorry, Jan, I didn't hear that they are what?
That they are effectively collecting and storing all data continuously as their consent is sufficient. But ECAN found that they weren't doing that. So I was wanting to make sure that they're compliant with the consent. And there's no reference to that.
Well, ECAN would be the ones who monitor the consent and whether they're compliant. We've certainly had no indication that they're not compliant with consents.
So what's a way forward to ensure that they are operating in accordance with their consent?
Yeah. Trust.
Yeah, I think to our knowledge, they are. Per their consents. Certainly ECAN hasn't.
Have they provided us with any compliance reports from the
regulator? No.
Is that something that we would expect, given that one of their purposes is information?
No, I don't think so. I think that's becoming that's a matter for them to determine how they are complying. And for us, we would be looking for any flags raised by ECAN that they're not complying. They've got performance measures in their SOI.
So that's right. So the operational performance targets, environmental targets to ensure compliance of region's consents. If they were non-compliant or had a regulator report that said, like a compliance report, they weren't compliant, I would have to send through to us. Like we'd be advised of it under like a no surprises clause.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we put a
called out in the annual report with a statement of intent.
Yes, it would be, but we wouldn't get it as a rule. But certainly if there were issues of non-compliance, we would expect them to raise it under the no surprises policy, which has this year gone into their SOI.
Because we've not been assured. So because we haven't heard anything, we should be assured. Are there any other questions? Right, we've got a mover and seconder. Is there any debate? Okay, all those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, that's carried.